As many of you may know, I have many talents. Let's see if juggling's one of them. Nope. Just bruised and orange. Not very good at juggling. What I am very good at is factoring. Very good at factoring. So, maybe during my time, I will take a moment to practice juggling and move on with that and get better at it. But right now, let's take some time and work on 7.6.1 factoring with a leading coefficient other than 1. So we worked on this last time. I'm just going to follow up and do the last 4 problems so you guys have, I guess, some more example problems for you. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says 2m squared plus m minus 21. Okay, so remember, you're going to do 2 times negative 21, that's negative 42. And now from here, you're going to look at 42. Remember, I don't really worry about the sign. I'm actually worried about what are the factors of 42 that could give me a 1m in the middle. Okay, so I'm looking for things that are 1 apart. Okay, I'll talk about the negative in a second. So I'm just breaking it down, 1 and 42, 2 and 21. We got 3 and 14, 6 and 7. That's it. So I'm looking for these factors that could give me a 1. You're probably saying 1 and 42 doesn't give you a 1. It has a 1 in it, but I can't use both numbers and get a 1. 2 and 21, same deal. 3 and 14, same deal. So I'm looking at 6 and 7. Now, from here, remember, I want a positive 1, and they have to multiply to give me negative 42. So this is where the sign comes into play. So negative 6 times positive 7, that's going to give me negative 42. And when I add them, I get positive 1. So now I'm going to group them here. I'm going to write 2m squared minus 6m plus 7m minus 21. And now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at the front. I'm going to look at the back. Okay, notice I grouped them. Here, what do they have in common? A 2 and an m. So I'm going to pull that 2m out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. M squared divided by m is m. Negative 6 divided by 2 is 3. M divided by m, well, they cancel. In the back half, what do they have in common? That's a 7, so I'm going to pull out a positive 7. Okay, so 7 divided by 7 is 1, so I just have an m. Negative 21 divided by 7 is negative 3. Notice these two things are the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to write it as m minus 3. And I'm going to write what's left, which is the 2m right here, plus 7. So that's my answer. Give you a second to write that down. Now let's look at number 2. Okay. Number 2, negative 2y squared minus 11y minus 8. Oop, no, that's a 5. So minus 5. So I'm going to do negative 2 times negative 5, that's 10. So I'm looking for the factors of 10 that can give me an 11. So I'm going to write my factors 10, 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Okay, so here 2 and 5 is not going to give me an 11, but 1 and 10 can. 1 plus 10 is 11. That's where I'm thinking. Now it needs to be negative 11. So what I'm going to do is they have to multiply to give me positive 10, but add up to give me negative 11. So they're both negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write negative 2y squared minus 1 minus 10, or minus 1y minus 10y minus 5. And I'm going to group this and this, the front and the back. Okay, so the front the only thing they share is a negative. Okay, I'm going to pull that out and a y. So I'm going to pull out a negative y. That leaves me with 2y plus 1. Here, they share a negative 5, so I'm going to pull that out. So it's 2y plus 1 as well. Notice those are the same. Good sign that I'm doing it right. So my answer is going to be 2y plus 1 times negative y minus 5. Now I can clean this up further. Notice they both have a negative involved. So for this sake, not really going to do it. I can pull that negative 1 all the way out front. And this would just be y plus 5. Because what I'm doing is I'm pulling a negative 1 out from that. Okay? Negative 1 out from that. And that's going to go in the front. That I did nothing to. And that would just be y plus 5. All right, 2 more. And then I'm going to be jumping around and going over some stuff here. Okay? So you'll have to follow me on that. So now we got, number 3. Enjoyable number 3. All right, so what we're doing here is I'm going to do the same thing I've always been doing. I'm going to be doing 2 times 2, that's 4. So I'm looking for the factors of 4 that will add up to 5. And I can keep going, but I know 1 plus 4 is 5. So we're going to do 2x squared plus 1, 1x plus 4x plus 2. And now I'm going to be grouping these, the front and the back. Okay, so I'm going to group the front, group the back. I notice I can pull an x out from there, so that's going to be 2x plus 1, which is left. I can pull a 2 out from there, so that's going to leave me with 2x plus 1. And my answer is going to be 2x plus 1 times x plus 2. Okay, starting to get better at it, starting to get quicker. And the last one here, the last one we got is number 4, okay? So here, 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm looking for the factors of 12 that can give me a negative 4. Okay, I'm going to write these out. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I'm thinking this is going to be 2 and 6 because 2 and 6 are 4 apart. Okay. Now it needs to be negative 4, so this is going to be a positive 2 and a negative 6. Okay? Let's see. Does that work? Well, no, it doesn't because it needs to multiply to give me a positive 12. Let's see. Make sure I wrote it down right. I did. Okay, well, what I'm thinking here is... maybe I can't factor it. Okay, it is a possibility. Notice, all right, 2 and 6 are 4 apart, but they're not going to multiply to give me that positive 12. All right, so I'm leaning towards this is not factorable. Okay, just kind of doing this on the fly. Not sure if I'm 100% right, but I'm gonna kind of go through and see. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12. I'm checking my work here. All right, I'm gonna write my factors of 12: 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Okay, it has to multiply to give me a positive 12, so it could be negative 1 and negative 12. Negative 2 and negative 6, negative 3 and negative 4. All right. And if I check these, it doesn't look like any of them will add up to give me negative 4. So I think I'm right. Okay. If I made a mistake, let me know. All right. So that's that. Now on the next page, there's some problems you guys can do on your own. All right. Factoring. So I would recommend just looking at those, going over it, just getting better at math. I mean, we have nothing better to do besides play Fortnite. Maybe a little Call of Duty. What are some other games out there that you guys play? Clash Royale. All that stuff. All right, so that's what I would do is practice on that, and then I'll see you guys back here.